Hey everyone, this is Ryan B with Practical Forex Trading. This is your weekly analysis for pound versus the dollar, Great British Pound versus the US dollar, sometimes called the cable. The date is May 24th, 2020. It's 2:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time here in the States. So make sure you click that red subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all of our charts. We do charts on euro and gold and oil and all kinds of other things. Okay, so we're looking at the daily chart for the pound. Looking at this from a horizontal point of view, as we talked about last week, we can see prices slowly moving down, right? So price, if we just think about this as horizontal channels, price was in this channel here from 143 to 132. Then price moved into this second channel, which is probably the most significant we see on this recent near-term chart. So if I draw a rectangle here to shade this, it'll remind me of this as a price zone. So after a lot of time being spent in that price zone, price eked back below, then shot back up, then was finally rejected again, and then recent tests were also rejected, which confirms the downtrend. And now we can see after last week we moved below it, then we had a quick shot up. Price will often attempt to retrace once major support's broken, but now that's been rejected and price is moving back downwards. So looking for more bearish movement this week. Let's go ahead and put the 4-hour in and apply our pivot points. Okay, so this looks pretty evident here that price is moving down. You know, from a skeptic's point of view, I suppose you could say, well, this is like an hourly short-term trend. It's been moving up. Yes, but in regards to the big picture, it's small. So however long this minor trend that's been forming holds, I expect it to break soon. The only thing that would reverse my sentiment if price moved above 123. So still bearish. I'm choosing to look at the chart this way from the long-term point of view, that seeing the top of my trend channel here. Oops, come on, stick for me. And this was our bearish descending triangle. Price broke below, came back, tested it, and now is moving down. So what we will see, though, is a short-term pause. So before we add any more lines, let's go ahead and put our pivot points on to guide us. Okay, pound. $1.21.79. Take my horizontal tool, identify that mark. Okay, right here, well, price is essentially sitting right below the pivot point for the week. So R1, 122.84. So as I noted, I said something about $1.23. So right there we find that's our first resistance, and that makes sense because we see that was held as the floor, if you will, for a while, and now it's become the ceiling. So right about that, 122.84, R1. So that should hold just by recent price action. However, you can have certain geopolitical events can cause prices to swing. Never know. So R2, $1.24.02. If price did get another kick up, it would be capped right there. We can see there's another point of contention historically over the last couple of months where prices, found resistance. They stalled out. People sold, etc. Okay. Oops. Well, I didn't put R2. That's you know is R2, and that makes okay. So really, we think about that. I'm going to rewrite that. There's our shaded zone, right? So, if price were to go all the way up here, we'd know it'd still be a good sell. Now, if I did sell here at the R1 and price continued to be up, I'd want to get out and then get back in. Let's print the right grammar. But I want to jump back into my position. My sell position's there because if we zoom out, always make sure you look at the big picture. Be careful if you're just like trading from your phone because you want to make sure you remember this happened, and it's been shaping up for years. That giant shaded zone of price action, which we've confirmed that price fell out of and failed to come back into. So making great places to sell. S1, okay, support 120.61. All the way down here. Could be a good target for this week. S1. That lines up with our recent low back here on the 17th, 16th of May. So price will revisit there, might stall for a bit and continue on this triangle unless there's enough of a move. This week especially, American markets are closed on Monday, so it might be pretty slow going. But we still might see price move down to S1. I don't know if it'll break through this week with low trading volumes. S2, 119.56. So right there, that matches up with these highs back all the way back in March. There we go. There's our S2. If we see S2 pierced, S3, 1733, you never know. Some weeks with holiday markets, liquidity's thin, and it ends up price really moves and be trucking. So always be vigilant with your open positions. Okay, there we go. S3, 117.33. So bearish in the pound. Looking for at least a move to the 2061 or back up towards R1. And if we saw a move back up here, then I'm looking for the sell-off. Price is well below the 20 period 4-hour moving average. So still a sell in my book. All right, everyone, have a great week trading. I hope you make lots of pips. Talk soon.